And so first play right here, using the body to create separation. So there's specific times where learning how to create your own shot becomes very important. And when you're at the college level, end of shot clock situations, you got to know how to create your own shot. Okay, and this is a great example of it right here. So shot clock's ticking, he's got about 6 seconds. He's going to get middle, and obviously against a guy with this much length, he's got to do something. And what he does to negate this length is he gets into his chest, he bumps him, and then he separates off, which gives him just enough space to knock this shot down at the end of the shot clock. So look at this bump, going to get right into his chest, and now we're separating off. Very important in that situation. So it's important that we understand the coverage that Baylor is in. The whole entire game, Baylor was switching the ball screen. And so this is when isolation stuff, knowing how to create your own shot, becomes very important. Because if Baylor is switching every ball screen, the only way to, create an advantage in this situation is to attack mismatches. And these BYU guards did a phenomenal job of killing the bigs on these mismatches. So if they switch the screen, get a slower guy on them, they're going to work and they're getting a bucket. So if you don't have the ability to create your own shot and score in isolation, then there's not much you can do against a switching defense. So knowing how to exploit mismatches is very important for guards and obviously for bigs when it comes to the pick and roll and it comes to playing against teams playing a switch coverage. Great move here too. Shift cross, very effective move, extra step back. And in the workouts, you guys are going to see a ton of moves like this. Very simple bag when it comes to scoring in isolation. I love utilizing that hang dribble and that Iverson cross. So 2 things happen in this play. One, we've got a go screen situation, or you want to call it a tack screen, whatever you want to call it. And then we've got a ball screen momentum situation. If you've been through the courses and you've been through the ball screen masterclass, you know what ball screen momentum is. So as you can see, nobody even gets hit on the screen. Causes a miscommunication because Baylor is switching. And so now he's going to sell downhill, slam the brakes, snatch cross, get behind the 3-point line, knock it down. Ball screen momentum. Defender's affected by the screen. We use that to our advantage. We snatch. We make some kind of a move because they're at a disadvantage. So once again, let's watch this guy right here. He's affected by the screen. Miscommunication. Sell downhill. Snatch. So this is a teaching point for bigs, because I know there's going to be a big that's watching this video. He does a really bad job here of being patient, right? So he does a really good job slipping this flare screen, because once again, Baylor's switching. So if they're switching, that's going to give you an opportunity to slip out of this. So he's going to slip to the basket, and he receives the ball. What he does wrong here is he immediately goes up. That's one of the most predictable things you can do in this situation. So if I was breaking down film with this guy, I would say, look, great slip here. You do a really good job of slipping right here. But when you catch this ball, shot fake. Get that guy to leave his feet and then maybe take a power dribble, get to the opposite side of the rim. But you got to shot fake in this situation because you're just too predictable. If every time you think you're open, every time you cut or slip to the rim and you immediately go up every time, you are so predictable. You've got to utilize and incorporate shot fakes in these situations. Because then, let's say he shot fakes right here. That guy leaves his feet. We get an and one in that situation, right? So we got to be more patient in those situations. We can't just go up every single time. Right, skip pass to the corner here. Immediately catch and rip. And that's a hard closeout. He can shoot the ball. Phenomenal shooter. So that's a hard closeout. And a lot of you guys are going to have the ability to shoot the basketball. And so you have to use that to your advantage, right? Because if there's any situation where it's a long closeout, just by you catching the ball and having your eyes at the rim guys are going to overplay the shot, and that's going to give you a ton of opportunities to get downhill and get to pull-ups, get to floaters, or even sometimes get an open layup at the rim. So you guys got to know how to attack closeouts. Very important skill to have. Catch and rip. Another situation right here. These are all in the workout plans because it's so important. Even the play after this one is the same exact thing because I want to keep harping on this. And I want to go over this one more time because I want you to watch what he does on this floater. And when you guys see me demonstrate these workouts, you'll see me do this on a lot of the floaters. When he catches and attacks, watch this little pro hop he takes. You ready? You see how he gets in front of that guy before he takes that foot? It's so important. But just that little hop in front completely takes him out of this play. You guys see this? Hops right in front of him. Now he's vertical on the floater. Soft touch. Right here, another example. Catch and rip immediately. Coach at Kansas State calls this a stampede. Basically when you catch and you're sprinting as you catch. Great way to get downhill. So great skip pass here. And as he's catching, he's on the run. Like he's on the move as he's catching that ball. He's going to attack baseline. Great 1 foot up and under. Finish at the rim. And here's another angle of this play. Great play here. I love stuff like this. If you guys can't tell already from all the other breakdowns. BYU's in a drop. Going to do a great job. Patient, using a hang, getting level with the screen. Immediately turns the corner here. Great job there. But now look at his eyes. Okay, his eyes are at this rolling big. His eyes are here. And what you're going to see on this play is this guy in the drop is going to overplay this roller because of his eyes. And right now he's got leverage on the chase defender. And so this is basically a 2-on-1 situation right here. This is a 2-on-1 situation in this pick and roll. Okay? And so by him using his eyes, I want you to see what this opens up for him. See his eyes causes that guy in a drop to freeze up. Now he's got an angle for a finish at the rim. So important. It's such a little detail, just using your eyes in these situations. And there's a lot of other situations where just these little details can change everything for you. So just watch this play full speed, comes off tight, eyes, gives him the angle to finish at the rim. So just watch this play, come off, they switch it. Big does a really good job here of sealing his guy and taking this person out of the play. So kind of setting this Gortat screen in that situation. So he's going to utilize a hang dribble here, which gives him that step on the drive. Gap defender, he's going to cuff the basketball. Great job. And right here, I cannot talk about this enough. When you are finishing against length, when you are finishing against shot blockers, your goal is to cut that guy off. When you are finishing at the rim, your goal is to get completely in front of that guy because that's going to mess up his timing. If you cut him off, he can't time a jump. He can't time this block. So getting in front of that guy is key. And so not only does he get in front of the shot blocker here, but he also uses the opposite side of the rim and uses the rim for protection. And at this level, those are the little things that you have to do. Because if you don't, you're going to get blocked a ton. Really good play there. So this is going to be really cool. I want you guys to watch this. So here's the first play. Back-to-back plays. The first play. He's going to come off the screen. And if you're a big, pick and pop big, this is called a kickback action. Is what I call it. I don't know if that's what it's called, but I'm calling it a kickback action. Very, very common pick and pop action. So when he comes off here, BYU's in a drop. Okay? And so the big is occupied with the ball handler right here. And if the big is occupied with the ball handler in this drop coverage right here, there is obviously nobody that's going to guard the screener, which always allows for this kickback pass right here to create open shots. So common for pick and pop bigs. So let's watch this first play. He's going to kick it back. and they're going to knock down a three in the situation. So here's the next play, and this is basketball IQ in a nutshell. So now they're going to run the same exact action, okay? So when he comes off the screen, BYU's in a drop, okay? Same exact situation. The guy in a drop is occupied with the ball handler, okay? So once again, nobody is guarding this guy at the top, and he just hit a three. So let's watch how VJ Edgecombe uses a pass fake in this situation. Pass fake. And now look at this. Wide open layup at the rim. And that layup happens because of that pass fake. That guy just hit a three on this pick and pop action. And so just by using that pass fake, that gives him an open layup at the rim because that big is now concerned about the pick and pop three. So let's watch this play unfold again. Gonna come off. Really good stuff there. Attacking mismatches. Team wants to switch, make them pay. Lateral hang dribble, and once again, that Iverson cross, such a fan of that Iverson cross against switches. Gets him, sells downhill, slams the brakes with a step back. I'll say this, and this is just theory, this is what I say. All of the moves you work on are 10 times easier to do against a switch. So all the moves you do against cones, all the isolation stuff, when you have a switch on you, that stuff's going to work most of the time. Because if you're a guard, you have speed over a big that is switched onto you. Because any big guy, 7-footer, most of the time, I mean, obviously you have your freaks of nature, they're not going to be able to move their feet. Okay, so all the moves that you do are going to be effective. You just got to be confident getting to this stuff once you get that situation. Let's watch this again because a lot of you guys in your workouts, we do isolation stuff. So boom, lateral hang, shift cross, step back, great move. So this play, I'm really excited to break down because this shot is so common. And I call this a meet in middle three. Obviously, it's a random name that I've come up with, but it's so common. And basically what this means, and this is a really extreme example because it's such a low switch, but when a team is switching, something that is very common is this space right in the middle of the switch. So a lot of times, right here, so obviously he was guarding him, and this is the switch. As you can see, there's a ton of space in the middle of this switch. And if we already know that this is gonna be there, we're gonna get right into this and have a clean look. But it's so common that teams will hand you off to the switching defender. And when that happens, there's this space that's right in the middle of the switch. And there's a ton of examples when you go to the ball screen masterclass, but this shot is very common. And you can get yourself some looks knowing that this shot's gonna be there. Yeah, you guys can see it. It's a low switch, but even if that guy's higher up, there's gonna be space in the middle of that switch.